How y'all doing today? Yeah, you are. Right? Look at you. I don't even recognize you. I'm usually in the back. I only know the back of your heads. This is weird. But we'll see what we can do here. Happy Mother's Day. Mothers got mothers. Fathers got mothers. Kids got mothers. This is another mother. I'm going to drive you crazy, Gina, because I walk back and forth. I'm just letting you know. There you go. Yeah, it's a TEDx that makes you stand right there, but there's no X here. Look at that. I was in line the other day doing some shopping. I heard a man talking to his son. He said, you know what? A smart person always has doubts about something. Only a total idiot is 100% sure of everything he knows. The son says, is that right, Dad? He goes, absolutely. So this month we're talking about doubt, which is kind of a weird thing, I guess. But here we go. Let's see what we can come up with, shall we? Yes, Dave, that's what we're going to do. Yes, Dave. This is tall, or I'm short. So what is doubt, really? And, you know, when you do these things, you want to look it up and you want to get it right. You want to share it with people. But as I was looking things up and I looked into dictionary and online and everything, you know what? It is as you think it is. There's really nothing hidden about this word here. So doubt is pretty much, like I said, what you think it is. See me assuming what I think you know. Simply put, doubt is uncertainty. You're not sure about something, so you doubt it. Okay? It came from the Latin word dubitare, which morphed into dubious. And then, for some reason, and I'm guessing maybe laziness or a bad editor, they left the B in when they turned it to doubt. And just in case you didn't know, doubt is worth 8 points in Scrabble. Right? It's amazing what's out there. Does God doubt? I doubt it. But there are somewhere between 15 and over 40 different ways that the Bible addresses the idea of us not doubting. And one of them, for instance, is that story about Jesus' resurrection. There was this guy named Thomas, and he insisted, I don't believe this until I see it. So he saw it, and then he believed. And that's where that phrase, doubting Thomas, comes from. The Buddha has a different version, a more conscious version, if you will, about what doubting is. I saw an interview with him on Facebook. And if I remember rightly, what he said was something along the lines of, common sense and logical thinking is not enough to determine the truth. Do not believe anything I or anyone else says unless you can prove it for yourself. And he offers this tip as an invitation, if you will, to examine the evidence, figure out what it is you're looking at, and decide for yourself. Don't take his word for it. He says, and only when you personally have that experience yourself, that makes it real for you. So go ahead and believe, because now you know. Okay? There is help out there, and it comes kind of along the lines of a little bit of a shortcut. Practitioners. You can borrow a practitioner's belief because they know the truth about you. And if you don't know the truth about you, then that's what practitioners do. That's what Jesus did with you might have heard the story that he healed a man, made him walk, right? Well, if you read it carefully, he didn't do a thing. It's nice he got all the credit for it, but he told the beggar to get up and walk. And the man believed so much in what Jesus believed that he just took his stuff and walked. So that's how that works. You can borrow somebody else's belief, and that's what practitioners do. What they do is see straight through the stories to the core of the person, to the God space of the person, to the perfection of the person, and then they say that that's the right thing, and then you can experience that if you like. And if you don't believe it for yourself, that's okay. That's part of what this journey is about. That's kind of part of why you're all here today, is to learn just that little bit more about yourself, to find that place of certainty so that you know. What is there to doubt besides everything? We doubt other people. We doubt situations. We doubt ourselves more often than not, right? With the proliferation of AI, we can't even be sure that a photograph is real anymore. It's kind of hard to doubt existence, though, because here we are existing. So, you know that. So what exactly is doubt? Sometimes it's based in fear. It could be based on lack of trust. Internalizing doubt points to sort of a lower self-esteem, if you will. So then you start to doubt yourself. As in, I doubt my abilities. I doubt that I could, or really some people doubt that they actually are. Sometimes I think I doubt myself too much, but I'm not sure. Think about this. Can you doubt doubt? Yeah, we'll work on that one. Self-doubting leads to something called an imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, I'm sure everyone kind of half has an idea, but in case you'd like the official word here, psychological experience in which a person suffers from feelings of intellectual and or professional fraud. I run into that a lot in my coaching business because people, they get raises or they get promotions and they don't believe that they belong there. And so we get a chance to work on that. This is actually a recent thing. We're making up all kinds of names for stuff we all experience. So here you go. The phrase was coined in 1978 and accepted by the general public sometimes in the 80s. And now in 2017, it's in the dictionary. That makes it an official thing. Initially, it was thought to affect women. But guess what? You already know, don't you? Men can have imposter syndromes also, okay? So imposter syndromes sound like this. If I make a mistake, they'll prove I've been faking all along. When will they find me out? Did they really mean to promote me? Do I really belong here? And there's all kinds of ways to do that, and one thing I might suggest is if somebody else suggests that you belong there, then they see something in you that you don't see in yourself. So go for it. Put yourself up there and do the best you can. Because we're very hard on ourselves, aren't we? Yeah, we wouldn't be that hard on our friends that we are on ourselves. That's kind of brutal. So if you have an opportunity to rise up a little bit, if you have an opportunity to do something just a little bit more, to experience a little bit more, to be a little bit more, let the vision of somebody else trusting in you be that thing that pushes you up over the line. Go for it. As we teach here in Science of Mind, thoughts become things. And thinking these thoughts of self-doubt could actually create that. So there's another reason not to go there. Because you don't want to create something that doesn't support you. Maybe you do, I don't know. But I doubt it. So what happens is we start to believe them and then we cause them to be our truth. That's an example of the law working. The law works all the time, whether we want it to or not. So just another reason, whatever it is that you think, especially if you think it, especially if you start to believe it in yourself, then that becomes your experience. So change your thinking. Think what it is that you want to be. Think what it is that you want to experience. And it will happen for you. Again, that's the law working, whether we want it to or not. I've decided that the doubting itself is kind of a no thing. And I was trying to explain what that means, but if it's a no thing, how can you explain it? It's that kind of insidious sneakiness of unsurety and insecurity that comes up when faced with something. So the doubt itself isn't a thing, but what it's pointing to is the thing. The doubt itself presents as kind of a feeling. And what does that feeling mean? Listen to the feeling and go look. There's something here that would like a little bit of attention. So what is it? And that's where your growth comes, and that's where the learning comes, and that's where your certainty comes. Energetically, doubt, uncertainty, insecurity, that's heavy. You can actually measure that. So when you have enough of that stuff, you start going like this. And that. See if the sound man's awake. And so what you want to do, if you can, is work on that. Use that doubt, use that feeling to point to whatever it is that you're not certain about, and go figure it out. Learn a little more about you. Get rid of that insecurity. And what happens is you raise up your vibration, and your life gets a little bit easier. You're a little bit more in peace. And another thing about energy is that we emit energy whether we know it or not. And other people, whether they know it or not, they catch it. Okay? So when we have a higher vibration energy, we actually uplift every situation that we're in. So when we talk about a world that works for everybody, this is just a simple thing that we can do by ourselves to lift up this planet, really, one person at a time. That's something we can do. Starts here. I know I just talked about doubt being nothing, but it's actually a real thing. It's a shared experience. Everybody doubts. Okay, it's just part of what we're doing. So why hide it? And if you look on it with open eyes, you look at what's going on with an open heart and an open mind, then you can learn and you can expand and you can turn it into a really good thing. It's not a weakness. It's a strength. Use it as a strength. Go after it. I have this feeling. What does that mean? I don't know. Something needs to be looked at. Go there. And we don't like to do that because it might hurt. That's okay. You want to keep carrying that around? That'll hurt more in the long term. So ask yourself, what is it that I'm uncertain about? And listen for the answer. And don't judge the answer, because sometimes we don't like it. But that's okay. It's just an answer. You can deal with it now, you can deal with it later. But that is your inner truth telling you your inner truth. Hopefully so that you can get it. So in words you understand. Just in a place that needs a little bit of love. Give it that mother love, you know. What's wrong, baby? I don't feel good. Okay. Take care of it. Do what you need to do. And when we do that, that points us in the direction of our clarity. And the direction of clarity brings up that confidence in yourself. And then you know your path. And then you know what it is that you know. You know, you've done your homework. You've decided you know. And then you can own that. And there's a confidence and a peace that goes along with that. When you're doing this, though, also a reminder, focus on the ideas. It's the ideas you're not sure of, not yourself. See, try to look at it like kind of distance. Because people say, I'm bad. No, you're not. You might have done a bad thing. We all do that. But you're not bad. So separate that out. So when you have doubts, look at the thing that you're trying to achieve, knowing that you are fully capable of taking these steps forward. You are doing the doubting. You are not the doubt. Does that make sense? As we touched on last week, doubt is not a flaw to be hidden, but a natural part of humans. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Do we doubt Gus? Do you know who Gus is? Some people say, God, universe, spirit. Gus. I get Gus. We hang. Is there a Gus? What's its presence? What's its purpose? How are we connected? Are we connected? These are things that people doubt with. They wrestle with their faith. They wrestle with what it is that's out there. And embracing this doubt with honesty, authenticity, and maybe a little humility, we can open ourselves to a more robust understanding of our faith. Sometimes questioning it, even if you end up that there isn't one for you, now at least you know. Takes away the doubt, if you will. I had a fun thing here, but I'm not going to share. You want to hear it? Okay, ready? Asking these questions can lead one from the intersection of Agnostic Road and Atheist Parkway, trying to figure out which way to turn. I had fun with that one. Do either of these roads take you to the town of belief? But then that's an example of what the Buddha said. Experience it for yourself. And if you just don't watch out, you just might end up with a place that's stronger and more authentic than where you are today. You do it, and you'll be more of that you are, being clearer of that, who you are and what you're doing here, and even why sometimes. And whatever it is, that is your truth. Whatever it is, whether you think it should be this, or you think somebody else thinks that you think it should be this, or you're trying to, don't live your life based on what you think somebody else thinks that you should probably think. When you do these exercises, you end up knowing for yourself what it is that is your truth. And there's no doubting because you went there. I thought I was starting to doubt myself a lot less recently, but I don't think I have. So here's something you can do moving forward. When you wander into your conscious connection this afternoon, if the idea of doubt happens to be brought up, be real, share, talk to others about your feelings regarding your experiences. You may find it a little freeing because you've unloaded it. You may find it a little surprising that other people actually share the same thing. It's amazing how much alike we really are when we allow ourselves to be real and we drop the mask, drop the veil, and share with like-minded people. And that's what we have here. And if you want to go out there and practice a little bit about what we learned today, try to be cognizant of the fact that you're doubting. Be aware that you're doubting. You don't need to do anything about it. Just notice. Be aware when you're certain. Again, just notice. Be in your space, but be aware of what you're doing. And then that will help you to understand again who you are and what might need some work. What is the feeling of doubting versus the feeling of certainty? Don't judge it. Just watch it. And if there's something there that wants some attention, go ahead and give it. Because those feelings is your inner wisdom asking for some attention. There's an author here, Christopher Hitchens, tells us that to choose dogma and faith over doubt and experience is to throw out the ripening vintage and to reach greedily for the Kool-Aid. Isn't that great? So I need to tell you guys, reach out for that ripening vintage. Know that you are absolutely worth it. I have no doubt. Understand? Thanks. Let's lock this in with a little bit of a prayer. Knowing that there is Gus, and knowing that we are all as it is, and it is in, through, and as every single one of us, and it is our experience, and that is for certain. And there's also certainty in knowing that what our inner wisdom tells us is absolutely a capital T truth. And what I know is as we learn and we expand, we become more able and more willing to look at the things that are off just a little bit and do the work that we can to make them right for us. And I know that everybody here has the strength to do that. And the willingness comes. And I know that when you do this, the experience is freeing, enlightening, and life is good. So I share this, knowing that it is the truth of everybody here, everybody listening, and everybody everywhere. And as we have these thoughts of certainty, have these thoughts of goodness, let's take them and we plant them into the fertile fields that is the action and activity of the law itself. All it does is say yes to the seeds that you plant. So great gratitude. I accept this on behalf of everybody. I expect it to be the truth, and I allow it to be what it is, which is what we want. And help me anchor this by saying, and so it is.